People, we ruffled some feathers, didn't we, in that previous video? God damn. I'm not usually the type to be controversial, really. Like, my content's not controversial, but my previous video on YouTube was extremely controversial, apparently, because people didn't like it. And I love it. It's good. It's nice. It's good to see that people are sticking up for what they think's right, you know? But what I wanted to do is I wanted to create this video as a follow-up to the previous video to explain myself, really, right? Maybe I didn't do a good enough job in the previous video to like really kind of drill down into my thought processes, but I want to do that in this video because people didn't like it. People didn't like it, okay? So first things first, I was seeing a couple of comments around the fact that the previous video, which essentially, if you haven't watched it, or long story short, I should say, I said that your agency clients can get better results than you can if they run the ads themselves. That was like the claim of the video, and that's really what the video was built around. And essentially, you know, it's about kind of going from more of a done for you model to a done with you model with your agency, okay? And I do want to say, I think that it was a mistake on my end. I was kind of saying that it's like the new way, right? I don't mean that done with you, okay, is new. Obviously, right? Same thing with done for you, right? The agency business model, it's been here and it's been here forever, right? Same with pretty much everything everybody does these days. It's been done in the past in some form or another, right? Apart from crypto and shit like that, but you get the point, okay? It's not new. I'm not saying, I didn't mean to come off as by saying it is new, right? Like done with you is new. Of course it's not new. Okay? What I mean is that it's a new approach, right? Because everybody in the agency space, you guys know this as well, right? Like nobody talks about doing done with you. Nobody talks about it, right? It's all done for you in the agency space. And so that's what I mean. It's like a new approach. Okay? That's what I mean. So that's number one. Number two is people were saying that I was using, or I am using this new angle to get people to buy a new product, right? And the new product is Scale Clients.io. Now, that is so not true. Right? And here's why. I actually built Scale Clients.io because this is how I by the way, I've never been more confident in a product before, ever, right? And the reason is because this, I don't want to say new approach because now I know I'm going to get like, oh, okay, it's not new. It's like done for you. It's been around for hundreds of years. I know. I don't mean that. I mean that like it's a new approach in the agency space. That's what I'm trying to get at, okay? And I've never been more confident in an approach to go from 0 to 100K a month. I've never been more confident because I've done it, right? And I've seen people do it time and time and time again, okay? And so that's why I built Scale Clients.io. It's because of this. I didn't create a new product and then whip up this random angle to try and sell the product. I built the product because of this angle is true. Okay, if you've been running your agency, and there's a few angles to this. So the first angle is that things are changing in the market space, right? This is a fact. Okay, if you run an agency and you send out emails, or you ran an agency in 2019, 2018, and you sent out, 100 emails saying, hey, we'll run your Facebook ads for you, right? You probably would have signed a client from those 100 emails, right? You probably maybe booked in 4 or 5 calls, you probably signed 1 client. You can't do that anymore. You cannot do that anymore. And if you don't believe me, try it. Okay, just try it. Try sending 100 emails and say, hey, we'll run your Facebook ads for you. You're not gonna get any responses, because it's dead. That approach is dead, okay? And so that's more obviously specific, but the other angle to it is like that approach is dead, but also at scale, okay? This is the key. This is the key. My head's kind of going everywhere right now, and I hope this is coming out like in a way that makes sense, okay? I'm not saying that done for you doesn't work. Okay, I'm not saying done for you doesn't work. What I'm saying is done for you doesn't work at scale. Again, everybody was commenting, or a lot of people were commenting on the last video saying, done for you still works. Done for you has been around forever. Done with you has been around forever, and they both still work. Clients will still pay you to do a service for them. Of course they would, right? Of course clients will pay you to come in and do a service for them if they value that service and the outcome of that service. Of course they would. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying done for you doesn't work. What I'm saying is that an agency business model at scale doesn't work. Going from 0 to 5K a month, 0 to 10K a month with an agency business model, and I'm only saying agency business model because I know a lot of you guys watching this are very familiar with SMMA, with the agency business model. But what I really mean is a done for you model. That's what I really mean, right? Because I'm not, like you'll see now, a lot of my content isn't surrounding agencies or SMMA. None of my content surrounding SMMA anymore, right? Because that's not the only model, right? And I mean, this is a topic for another video, but the done for you model, okay? 0 to 5K a month, 0 to 10K a month, it works 100%. But a done for you model at 200,000 a month, at 400,000 a month, at 500,000 a month, doesn't work. It doesn't work because you're handcuffed at that scale. Why? Because you've got one of two paths, right? The first path is at scale, 300,000 a month, done for you service, okay? You've got a lot of clients at that point, right? 300,000 a month, you got a lot of clients at that point. And so at that point it becomes, okay, well, how are we gonna maintain quality at scale? How are we gonna maintain results for our clients at scale? Well, let's hire more people to ensure that our clients get the best results possible. Cool, now you've got this path over here sorted, right? Because you've maintained quality at scale, you're able to still deliver for your clients. The other path though, of profitability, that'll go down the drain, right? Because now you've hired, 5 more people to cater for your 50 client roster or whatever the numbers are. Your profitability will decrease, and it always does. Typically, there's no done for you businesses at that scale unless they're at like 10% profit, right? 20% profit, okay? And you've always got your anomalies, but for the most part, it just doesn't work, okay? So then it's the other way. It's like, okay, let's maintain profit and let's not hire as many people. Perfect. But now what's gonna happen? Results are gonna go down the drain, right? And so at that point, it's like the agency's interest or the done for you business and the client, their interests don't align. And that's a recipe for disaster when your interests as a business don't align with the interests of your customers. It's a recipe for disaster. That's what I'm trying to get at. Done for you at scale doesn't work. And again, I know you're probably gonna go out there and find like this one business out there that cracked the code to done for you at scale. There's anomalies. There's always gonna be exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, it does not work. But 0 to 10K a month, 0 to even like up to like 50K a month, 60K a month, I've done it, you can manage it for sure, 100%. I'm not saying that done for you, right? A done for you model. You can do it at 50, 60, maybe 100K, right? Maybe 100K. But then as you start looking at 3, 4, 500K, severe scale, it breaks, it doesn't work. And that's why I'm saying this new done with, again, I say new, but it's new in the way of like, nobody really talks about it. That's what I'm trying to get at, okay? I'm not saying it's new. I know done with you's been around forever. I know that, okay? I'm saying it's new to the space, okay? Done with you, that's where that really starts to crush it, right? And the other thing is that people are like, done for you still works and this and that. I'm like, he's just trying to sell you on this new way, right? That's what he's trying to sell you on. And I'm not, first of all, because I'm actively saying, like I say to our Scale Client Style customers, I actively tell them, do it done for you first, right? If you're in a new niche, you're bringing out this new offer to market or whatever it is, you gotta do the thing first, because that's how you're gonna build the proof of concept. That's how you're gonna build a highly robust protocol around how to deliver the desired transformation, whatever it may be. You gotta do the thing. You gotta crack the code yourself through a done for you format, right? For your clients, right? So you bring on a client and you do the thing for them, right? You can't coach, you can't consult, you can't show somebody how to do something if you haven't done it yourself, if you haven't cracked the code yourself. So you have to do it done for you first. And I'm actively advocating that, okay? So, but again, it's fine at the lower level, 0 to 10, 0 to 50, right? Maybe 0 to 100, but that's when the problems really start to arise, right? But at the smaller scale, done for you, 100%, you gotta crack the code, you gotta build the proof of concept, you gotta, build the robust protocol around how to actually deliver the desired transformation. And then you can take that and put it into an actual format, right? That your then clients can come in and understand themselves, and then they take it and they then implement it on it themselves. That's where the done with you then starts to come into play. And obviously it goes deeper than that, but that's like the overarching idea. And then at that point, you are then doing leveraged consulting, right? Because you're kind of building this system, right? Typically it'll be done through info products, and there's also other things that you can bolt onto the service to make it a lot more effective. And again, literally just look at Scale Client Style, like it's a perfect example of that. It's just leverage consulting. That's all we're doing. I'm implementing on leverage consulting, but I'm not doing it in the agency space, which is why I don't really talk about SMMA anymore, because it goes broader than the agency space, right? It's so much broader than that, okay? There's so many more people out there who who you can help solve their problems with, okay? If you want to understand a little bit deeper into kind of stepping back and seeing the process for what it is and seeing, you know, the actual system, click the link in the bio, it'll take you to the Scale Client Sale Thesis, okay? And it's like a 75-minute video that I created just walking through this entire system, right? It's super, super robust. But that's the idea. You want to then go into leverage consulting at that point once you've built a protocol that you know works. Because then for you as the agency owner, I'm not saying for the client on their end, because the client will still pay you to do the service for them. I'm not saying clients won't pay you for that, right? Or customers won't pay you to come in and do the service for them. Of course they'll pay you, right? They want that. But then what happens is, as I said before, your interests with that client aren't aligned, because you then are more incentivized to go and get more results or more clients or whatever it may be. And they want you to just work for them, just one-on-one work for them, because they know that's how they're going to get the best results. And you know it too. Right? My point is, you know, once you've built that protocol, once you've built that system that you know works, that you know delivers the desired transformation that your customer or your clients want to achieve and they want that to be realized in their business, right? Then you go into the leverage consulting, because at that point, that's when it becomes scalable, because you build a system once, you put all of your time and effort into building a system once, right? And then you can have, you know, 100 new customers a month, you can have 10 new customers a month, you can have 500 new customers a month, and there's not typically any extra input from your end, which makes it scalable. But client results are maintained because you've built the system, and if you've done it correctly, right? If you've done it correctly, the client will get the same level of result, whether you've got 1 customer or 500 customers. And that's the key. As a leverage consulting model, you can have 500 customers and still be wildly profitable and, as I say, deliver customer results, which is really the main metric that you got to track, customer results. And then it's like, okay, well, if the customer results are the main metric we should track, surely we should just do the service for them, because then at that point, you're in control of the system, of the process, and you'll probably be able to, because you're in control of delivering the system, you're probably going to be in control of the output of the system, right? So then you'll be able to ensure that every client you bring on board delivers results. It's like, yes, but then also you got to look at the business, the economics of the business. You're probably not going to be profitable, because in order to sustain that at scale, you got to hire more people. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I just don't scale. Cool. If you want to, sit at 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 a month, that's completely fine. You don't need to do any of this. Just bring on a couple clients and just work one-on-one with them and stay at 50,000 a month. That's completely fine. I'm not saying that's not fine. I'm saying if you want to, which I know a lot of you do, want to get to 3, 4, 500,000 a month, you got to adapt to it, right? Yeah, that's kind of what I meant by the last video. Got a little bit hyped there, but I think this video was highly needed. And the other thing I want to finish this off with is, why do you think, right? This is probably gonna ruffle a bunch more feathers, but I'm in a controversial mood recently, okay? Why do you think everybody that you listen to and have probably learned from, why do you think they've transitioned into that format? Right? However you learn from these people, typically it's going to be done through leverage consulting, right? They've built a system, which is typically an info product, and then they've bolted on a couple extra services, which is more of like a, like calls, like one-on-one, or maybe it's community-based calls, or it's whatever it may be, right? There's a little bit of done with you on there as well, right? You work one-on-one with them and whatnot, right? To help make sure that the system gets implemented correctly. Why do you think they've all transitioned to that model? Why do you think that? Right? For example, again, I want to get out of the agency space and the SMMA space, right, in terms of my content. But, just looking at the agency space, if all of these people have scaled their agency from 0 to 100,000 a month, why do you think they've then gone ahead and transitioned into coaching? Why do you think? Right? Even me, why do you think I did it, right? Number one, I'll tell you, for me personally, I can't speak for other people, but I know for me, first of all, I will say the fulfillment that comes from coaching, having customers and helping them hit whatever they want, right? Get to wherever they want to go, helping them realize their desired transformation. The fulfillment that comes from that, honestly, is insane. But also, the business model is highly scalable, number one, and highly profitable, number two, right? So why do you think everybody else makes that transition as well? I'll say as well, probably because they get a lot of fulfillment out of it, because I know how fulfilling it is. It's amazing, right? My high comes from customer results. My high comes from customer results. That's my drug, right? Customer results, seeing customers win. It's insane, the feeling, right? But also, it's a crazy powerful business model. Why do you think these people haven't just gone ahead and, they've gone from 0 to 100,000 a month? Again, in the agency space, let's just look at it, because I know a lot of you guys will get it. In the agency space, they've gone from 100,000 a month with their, from 0 to 100,000 a month with their agency. Why don't they just take that to $1 million a month, right? Why don't they just do that, right? Because they can't. Because their hands are tied once they hit 100,000 a month, typically. Okay, so then they've got to, transition into a more leveraged consulting structure. And typically most people would then from that point transition into, teaching other people how to scale their agencies. But again, you need to step out of the SMMA space, okay? Because this can be applied to anything. For example, one of our scale clients, our customers, we literally in the first 3 days of him coming on board as a customer, we revamped his entire model, right? To be one of, because he got a lot of experience in sales and whatnot. We're seeing a big issue that a lot of people are having right now is sales teams and ramping through a sales team, okay? And so what we've basically, restructured his entire model to is one of him helping companies install highly effective and efficient sales teams, which can then ramp that company from, kind of where they're currently at to whatever the number is that they want to hit. Typically that's going to be done through a highly effective sales team, because once you got that product market fit down packed, you got those fundamentals down packed, you just got to ramp volume. To ramp volume, you got to handle the volume, and again, a sales team is typically the best way to do that, right? So we've revamped his entire model, and it's got nothing to do with the agency space or the SMMA space, nothing to do with it. Okay, so yeah, we'll see what the comments are like under this video. Maybe I'll make a part 3 or whatever it is to explain even further. But I hope this was useful, and I hope my thought processes came across a little bit more clear in this video than they did in the previous one, okay? But yeah, any questions that you have, any thoughts that you have, okay? Drop a comment below. I love to see it, okay? And as I say, if you want to know more in depth, and you want to just even like not from a just like from that point of view of stepping outside of the agency space, right? I think it's very, very, very important that everybody does this, because everybody right now is very tunnel vision, right? They're very tunnel vision on SMMA. Very tunnel vision on Facebook ads for real estate agents, very tunnel vision on Facebook ads for e-commerce or whatever it is, right? But again, we really need to be stepping out of that, okay? Because there's so many more problems out there. All we're doing here, guys, is problem solution, right? Problem solving. That is literally the business model that we're in. And if you're in SMMA, that is also what you're doing. But what the issue is that everybody has been by default selected the problem of, real estate agents, e-commerce businesses, restaurants, gyms, whatever. They're the people, that's the niche that people pick, okay? And then by default, they've just went into the solution of Facebook ads. That's it. And that's an issue now, right? Because everybody is doing the same thing. And so now it's harder than ever to scale an agency or an SMMA with those blinders on, right? It's harder than ever right now. And so if you just step outside of it, there's so many more problems out there that you can help people with. And also there's probably better problems that are suited to you based on your experience, based on previous transformations that you've actually made, right? There's so many more problems out there that you can help people with. But because, as I say, everybody's very tunnel vision right now on SMMA and this problem and use this solution, people don't actually realize that this, as I say, just such far more effective opportunities out there. And as I say, this kind of video and the previous video was more so talking about the way in which you deliver the transformation at scale, okay? That's what I'm trying to get across. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you think this guy is talking shit, hit the thumbs down, okay? And yeah, we'll see what it looks like in the comment section of this video. So with that being said, I will see you in the next one.